Chase was squatting on the carpet of the CEO's office, a fistful of freshly shelled sunflower seeds in his hand. "Serena, I'm telling you, it's not looking good. Look at the way Serena's husband acted yesterday. When I brought dinner to the hospital, he didn't even lift an eyelid, just said, 'Leave it there.'" "What is that?" "That's textbook emotional ice age warning." He shoveled the kernels into his mouth as he talked, completely missing the storm cloud look forming behind the desk. "And hey, that new intern, what's her name, Mia, the way she eyebangs Serena's husband, TSK, practically wants to glue her eyeballs to him. Serena, your throne is wobbling. We need shock therapy." Chase dusted off the crumbs, leaned in, and flashed a wicked grin. "Tonight, don't go home, come to my lounge. I'll line up a few 6'1" jocks for you and we'll flood Instagram. Let's see if that poker-faced Adrian can stay cool. A man doesn't value what he has until he's scared it might get snatched. Chase. Yo, right here. Get lost." Serena signed the last document and flung her fountain pen onto the marble desktop. The cap rang against the stone with a sharp clink. The office was quiet except for the faint hum of the central air vent. It was already 9 p.m. She picked up her phone, blank screen, no messages, no calls. The most recent iMessage had come at 7 that morning from Adrian, "Surgery tonight. Don't wait up for dinner." Not even a punctuation mark that didn't feel corporate cold. Serena stood and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. Below, the city's busiest neon arteries flowed like glowing rivers, yet she felt nothing but gridlock inside. 3 years of marriage. Back then Adrian had been the prize she'd hunted down, some said with sterling group leverage and a thick prenup. Everyone warned his Jamie persona was icy, untouchable. She'd rolled her eyes. There was no stone on earth she, Serena, couldn't heat up, and nothing she wanted that she couldn't have. The first 2 years had been fine. Adrian talked little, but he'd blow dry her hair, cook congee when her stomach hurt, pick her up drunk from client dinners. But the past 6 months felt off. He'd grown busier, came home later. Even when they shared a bed, it was like the Yangtze and Yellow Rivers running parallel but never meeting. "Serena, we bouncing or what?" The door cracked open and Chase poked his messy blonde head through, a lollipop between his teeth, loud Hawaiian shirt making him look less like an executive assistant than a protection racket kid. Serena spun, arms folded. "Avery?" Chase popped the candy out and grinned. "Still at the hospital. Surgery finished ages ago. He's in his office writing reports." He paused, clocked her expression, and added, "The intern's in there too." Serena's eyes narrowed to slits. She said nothing, strode to the coat rack, and snapped on her trench, the motion slicing the air. "Hospital. Now. On it." Chase whistled, jogged out, then doubled back. "So, sis, are we storming the Bastille or bringing soup?" "I got bats and thermoses in the trunk, just say the word." Serena paused at the doorway, adjusting her collar, voice glacial. "I'm picking my husband up from work." Riverdale General's executive garage was packed. Chase wedged the red Porsche into a slot so tight the mirror almost kissed the neighboring Audi. "Serena, we're here." "Casey." She sat in the passenger seat staring at the inpatient tower. 16th floor, cardiothoracic wing. One light still burning. Suddenly she hesitated. If she walked in and saw something ugly, what then? Divorce? The word surrender didn't exist in Serena's dictionary. Adrian was hers. If she ever tossed him, it would be when she was bored, not because someone stole him. "Serena?" Chase waved a hand in front of her eyes. "Out." She shoved the door, night wind tangled her hair. She didn't care, just aimed for the elevator bank. Each floor dinged upward. Ding. 16. Disinfectant stung her nostrils. She hated it. Adrian showered twice before bed to smell only of body wash, but here the scent ruled. The charge nurse blinked at the sight of her, haute couture trench, diamond studs, frosty supermodel face, a walking Vogue spread in a hospital corridor. "May I help?" "Adrian." Serena didn't break stride, heading for the chief's office at the far end. Chase shadowed her, hands in pockets, hired muscle on standby. The door stood ajar. Serena's hand froze mid-knock. Voices drifted out. Jamie, I still don't get this data. Could you run through it again? Female. Young. Sweet. A pinch of coquette. Serena's heart clenched. Then Adrian's baritone, the timbre she loved to coax out in private. What part? At home he rationed words, now he was patient tutor. She peeked. Whitecoat Adrian sat behind the desk, gold-rimmed specs low on his nose. A scrubs-clad girl leaned in, almost cheek to shoulder, report in hand. Her fingertips accidentally brushed his knuckles. Serena locked onto that contact. Surely he'd recoil. He hated strangers' skin. He didn't. He kept sketching ECGs. See here, ST elevation, watch the peak. Snap. The last filament of her composure broke. She shoved the door, it slammed the wall. Both heads shot up. The girl jerked upright, face crimson. Adrian stayed unruffled, regarding Serena through his lenses as if she'd come to deliver a parcel. What brings you? Flat as tonic water. Serena laughed, anger in the vibration. She stalked in, yanked out the chair opposite him, crossed her legs. Just checking whether Jamie's overtime comes with special perks. She etched special perks slow and dirty. The intern's color drained, eyes darted from Serena to Adrian. Morgan. I'll go, He nodded, no attempt to keep her. Door shut, just Adrian, Serena, and Chase's curious head poking through. Tension thick enough to intubate. Adrian set down his pen, pinched the bridge of his nose, his tired tell. Serena, don't make a scene. The word scene detonated in her ears. I'm making a scene? She rose, palms on the desk, leaning in. It's 10 p.m. You're alone with little Miss Candy Striper, and I'm making a scene? He lifted his gaze, pupils dark as blind wells. We're discussing a case. Cases require cleavage and hand-holding? Her pitch spiked. He frowned. No contact. I saw it. Optical illusion. He slid his glasses back on, stacked the charts. Let's go home. I'm beat. He stood, peeled off his lab coat, hung it neatly. Underneath, navy shirt, collar buttoned, sleeves rolled to reveal sculpted forearms. Serena watched, fists meeting air, no fight, no apology, no heat. Always calibrated, always logic ship steady. Adrian. He paused while buttoning a cuff, looked back. Are you just over me? As blunt as only she could be. He blinked, raked his gaze over her, killer makeup, crimson lips, black body skimming dress under the trench, no flicker. Don't spin out. He moved to drape an arm around her. Keys? She sidestepped. Riley. Heels hammered the corridor. Adrian's hand hovered, then dropped. He sighed toward the doorway. Car interior, Arctic pressure. Chase flicked glances in the rear view. Serena left, Adrian right, a Grand Canyon between them. Silence. She stared at the blur outside, anger a slow burn. 3 years ago, when she'd first bagged him, his gaze had degrees. He'd steal her hand in the car, thumb tracing her lifeline. Now, he was scrolling research on his phone. She itched to hurl the thing through the window. Jamie. He didn't look up. Yeah, I'm flying out tomorrow. Where to? Paris. Fashion Week, and male models. His thumb stilled, he glanced up. She braced for possessive fire. He simply nodded. Stay safe. Cards in the drawer, your birthday is the pin. Serena. Homicide felt reasonable. Back home, Adrian took a shower and went straight to bed. He slept like a corpse, flat on his back, hands folded over his stomach, handsome and motionless. Serena sat at the vanity, slapping serum onto her face hard enough to hurt. In the mirror, the woman staring back had firm skin and alluring eyes. What's wrong with me? Rich, pretty, great body. Why doesn't he want me? The more she thought, the angrier she got. She yanked open the drawer and pulled out a small black velvet box from the very back. Inside lay a black lace nightie. Chase had given it to her last birthday. She called him a pervert and tossed it into the corner. Who knew it would finally see the light of day? Serena took the nightie into the bathroom. 20 minutes later she stepped out. The scrap of fabric covered the essentials, but it revealed far more than it hid. She inhaled, marched to the bed. Adrian seemed asleep, his breathing even. Serena gritted her teeth, lifted the quilt, and slid in. The mattress dipped. She inched closer until she was pressed against him. His body was warm, a faint mint scent clinging to his skin. She poked his arm with one finger. No reaction. She poked his chest, rock hard. Still nothing. Emboldened, she moved in, hand slipping under his pajama hem to trace his abs. Nice. Adrian, she whispered, blowing into his ear. Asleep? His body stiffened. Pretending. Huh? She let her leg brush his. I'm cold, she cooed. A large hand clamped over her wandering one. Adrian opened his eyes and turned his head. In the dark they glittered, dangerous. Serena, he rasped. Don't start a fire. And if I do? She circled a finger over his abs. If you can't handle it, just say so, I won't judge. His grip on her wrist tightened. He rolled, pinning her. Serena's heart leaped, hook, line, sinker. Instead he tucked the quilt around her, burrito style. Good girl, go to sleep. He dropped a kiss on her forehead, turned his back, and settled in again. Big case tomorrow, can't lose focus. Serena? She stared at the ceiling, listening to his breathing even out, and nearly ground her molars to dust. Surgery, surgery, surgery. Marry thee or why don't you? She kicked him to the edge of the bed. He grunted, didn't wake, just hugged the quilt and slept deeper. Next morning Serena got up with twin purple crescents under her eyes. Adrian was already gone. On the nightstand sat a glass of lukewarm water and a sticky note. Breakfast's in the warmer, eat. Might work late tonight. She crumpled the note and lobbed it into the trash. Work late? Fine. If you love the hospital so much, I'll make sure you never leave. She dialed Chase. Find out when Riverdale General's annual equipment tender opens. Chase answered half asleep. Next month? Why, Serena? No reason. In the mirror her smile was razor sharp. I'm delivering Jamie a little gift. 12 p.m., Dean's office at Riverdale General. The Dean dabbed sweat from his temples. Cameron, to what do we owe the honor? A subordinate could have handled this. Serena, white power suit blazing, sipped tea. I heard you're upgrading equipment. Sterling Medical has several subsidiaries that would love to consult. Wonderful, Sterling's reputation is impeccable. With one condition, she said, setting the cup down. I want a technical advisor, someone from cardiothoracic to accompany inspections. Adrian comes to mind. The dean beamed. Perfect. Jamie's skills and profile are ideal. I'll fetch him. 10 minutes later a knock. Come. Adrian stepped in, hair still ruffled from the oar, fatigue in his eyes. Seeing Serena, he froze, surprise cracking his composure. She stood, hand out, corporate smile in place. Jamie, looking forward to our first collaboration. He glanced at her hand, then at the beaming dean, and finally clasped her fingers. His skin was cool, dry. She grazed his palm with her pinky, feather light, before he snatched his hand back. Cameron, he warned under his breath, this is a hospital. I know, she murmured, leaning in. Makes it exciting, doesn't it? Outside, Serena tossed her car keys to Chase. Cab it home. He caught them, clocked Adrian, and bolted. Rides this way, Jamie. She jingled a second set at the Bentley parked dead center. Rowan checked his watch. I have clinic this afternoon, which is why we've got exactly 1 hour for lunch. Delay and the hospital can blame their partner, or you for cutting work. He eyed her, exasperation flickering into something softer, and got in. The cabin was silent, a sea blasting. Her new woody rose scent overrode the faint antiseptic clinging to him. What do you feel like? She stared one-handed, profile sharp. Whatever. Eyes closed, he looked spent. Japanese it is. At a red light she studied him, long lashes, violet shadows beneath. So he really had pulled an all-nighter? Her anger ebbed. She reached to stroke his jaw, he caught her wrist before contact. What are you doing? I'm examining dry skin, professional courtesy. He released her and stared out the window. Lights green. She checked, 15 seconds left, and laughed. Lying's a bad habit, Jamie. Lunch was miserable. She ordered enough for 4, he ate 2 pieces of sushi and tea, eyes on journal articles, answering her tries with monosyllables. Might as well have dined with a gorgeous, waterlogged plank. She dropped him off and slammed the steering wheel. Chase called. Results? Conquest achieved? Conquest my ass. Told you, low heat won't boil a frog. Tonight, 8 sharp, Nocturne, VIP booth V01. I've booked the varsity volleyball squad, 8 packs, obedient, camera ready. Purely therapeutic photos. She stared at the inpatient tower. If Adrian wanted cool detachment, she'd test how cool he could stay. Fine. Pop the most expensive cork. 9 p.m. Nocturne was the city's loudest money incinerator. Inside VIP booth V01 the lights were low and the music deafening. Serena sat dead center on the leather sofa, a tumbler of whiskey swirling in her hand. She had changed clothes. A black slip dress, cut high and low, bearing swaths of snow-white skin, long legs crossed, one stiletto dangling from her toes, ready to fall. In front of her stood a line of young men, all at least 6'1", bodies carved, faces pretty. Chase weaved among them like a pimp, pointing and commenting. Swim team, broad shoulders, nipped waist. Basketball, stamina beast. Gymnastics, flexibility off the charts. Enough. Serena cut him off. Her gaze swept the row of fresh faces. Hot, alive, but dull. All she could picture was Adrian in his white coat, gold-rimmed glasses, pinning her with that cold stare. These boys looked at her with please and want written all over them. Only Adrian's eyes stayed clean, even irritated. And she was hopeless, she craved that irritation. Not impressed? Chase leaned in. These are prime cuts, too green. Serena sipped, disgusted. No flavor. We're not really tasting, Chase chuckled, lifting his phone. We're just shooting. Come on, crowd around, no touching, just pose. You kneel, hold her glass. You stand behind, act like you're sniffing her hair. Serena didn't object. She shifted into position, casting a lazy, drowsy smile at the lens. Click. Frozen. Chase whistled at the shot. Serena looked like a queen orbited by glistening constellations of testosterone. Zero contact, maximum vibe, perfection. Where do we drop it? He asked. Instagram. Serena took the phone, captioned, posted. 3 simple words, new toys. Audience, Adrian only. She flipped the phone face down. Drink. Her pulse was racing. The move was reckless. Adrian would either 1. See it, gag, block her, and hand her divorce papers at dawn, or 2. Miss it, or not care, and sleep like the dead. Neither ending satisfied her. Minutes crawled. 30. 60. The phone stayed silent, a brick. Serena's heart chilled, the whiskey kept coming. The models started karaoke, splitting her skull. Shut it, she barked. Music died. Everyone froze. She massaged her temples, feeling like a punchline. All these years she thought she had Adrian leashed, turns out the collar was hers. Let's bounce, this is lame. She stood, swaying. Chase caught her arm. I'll drive you, Serena. Then, boom, the door flew inward, kicked hard enough to bounce off the wall. A silhouette filled the frame. Adrian. Same navy shirt, but the tie hung loose and crooked. Wind mussed hair. Chest heaving, he'd sprinted the whole way. Worse, his eyes. Normally calm, rational, flat, now twin furnaces. Dark, savage, ready to devour. Silence dropped like a guillotine. The 6-footers shrank back, mute. Adrian's stare swept the room and locked on Serena. She froze. She had never seen this Adrian. Her hand lifted to adjust a slipping strap, but Adrian was already on her. He moved fast, a cold wind at his back. Serena, hold. Chase tried stepping in, one glare iced him. Adrian reached her. No words, he shoved his suit jacket and draped it over her, wrapping her tight. Then he bent, scooped her into his arms. Adrian! Put me down, she yelled, fists hammering his shoulder. He didn't feel it. His arms were iron. Out, he growled at the room, 2 syllables scraped from the pit. He carried her out without looking back. Adrian stuffed her into the passenger seat, rough, no ceremony. Clicking the belt, he smelled of sweat and smoke. Wait, smoke? He'd quit years ago. You lost your mind? She snapped as he slammed his door and gunned the engine. The car shot forward. He didn't answer. Knuckles white on the wheel, veins bulging. Speed climbed. Lights streaked into surreal ribbons. Serena's stomach fluttered. Slow down. Scared now? He bit out, eyes on the road. Picking up boys didn't scare you? I was. New toys? He sneered, stomping the brake. They screeched to a stop on a deserted river road. Seatbelt off, he spun and pinched her chin, hard. Getting brave, are we, Serena? Their noses almost touched. Bored with me? Need trash for excitement? They listen. They flatter, she shouted. You? Surgery, charts, no glance my way. I'm your wife, not your roommate. His gaze flickered. He saw tears brimming. His grip loosened. She turned aside, drop slipped free. Then let's end it, Adrian. I can find someone who wants me. He cupped the back of her head and crushed his mouth to hers. Not a kiss, an assault, teeth and heat. She reeled, palms shoving, he pinned them above her head. Temperature spiked inside the tight cabin. Breath ragged, he tore away, burying his face at her throat. Divorce? His voice was gravel and venom. Never, Serena. He brushed her swollen lip. I've been finalizing a paper, professorship means vacation time. That in turn? Dean's favor, name unknown. I haven't touched you because I've had 4 hours sleep in 3 nights, afraid I'd hurt you. Each confession earned a soft kiss. She blinked, lashes heavy with tears. Truth? When do I lie? Exasperation flashed across his face. Looking at her, clothes askew, cheeks tear-streaked, his control snapped. But right now, he murmured, lowering her seat, I'm done waiting. Cameron, you wanted excitement, let's test it here. Morning. Serena felt reassembled with spare parts achy, limp, drained. She rolled over, the sheet beside her was cold. Adrian, she croaked, throat sandpaper. No answer. She jolted upright. Memories rushed back, Ellis, Quinn, rocking chassis, Adrian's glowing eyes. The man turned savage and insatiable. She lifted the blanket, bruises, purple blotches, collarbone a crime scene. How to dress for a board meeting. The bedroom door opened. Adrian entered, tray in hand, white porridge, side dishes. Glowing, relaxed, last night's wolf replaced by domestic bliss. She hurled a pillow. Adrian, are you freaking rabid? He ducked, grin widening. Setting the tray on the nightstand, he smoothed her hair. Eat, rebuild. Rebuild your head. She slapped his hand, pointing at her throat. Board meeting at 3. He leaned in, kissed the bruise. Skip it. You own the place, who'll complain? Easy for you to say, she muttered, spooning porridge. The temperature was just right. Oh, right. She remembered something. That Bentley, have Chase take care of it. What's wrong? Broken? Filthy. Serena's cheeks warmed, she bit her spoon. Have it scrubbed inside and out, preferably disinfected. No, just sell it. The sight of it annoys me. Adrian laughed out loud. He looked gorgeous when he laughed, eyes curving like thawing ice. Whatever you say. He leaned in, the tip of his nose brushing her cheek. Last night, you were amazing. Serena nearly sprayed her porridge across the room. Face scarlet, she kicked him off the bed. 2 p.m. Serena still went to the hospital, not as a patient, to inspect operations. She wore a black turtleneck under a cream blazer, every inch covered, yet her aura still stretched 8 feet tall. The moment she stepped into the cardiothoracic corridor, a cluster of nurses scattered from the triage desk, suddenly busy with invisible tasks. Serena ignored them and headed straight for Adrian's office. The door stood ajar. Adrian was discussing a surgical plan with several doctors. The intern Mia was there too, hair now in a perky top knot, looking fresh and pretty. She held a cup of coffee, extending it toward Adrian. Morgan, take a sip. I just ground it, mantling, your favorite. Voice syrupy enough to clot. Serena lounged against the frame, knuckles tapping the door. Knock, knock. Every head turned. Adrian's eyes lit at the sight of her. He left the coffee untouched and stood. What brings you? Came to collect Jamie for the equipment demo. Serena strolled in, gaze flicking to the steaming cup. Mantling? I thought Jamie's stomach was acting up. Strong coffee, trying to shorten your life? Mia's face froze. I didn't know Morgan's stomach. You're his intern. If you don't know your mentor's health, how will you care for patients? Each word slid in like a scalpel, quiet and precise. She stepped to Adrian, straightening his collar with familiar intimacy. Then, as though discovering America, she tapped a crimson patch on the side of his neck, just above the shirt line. Oh my, Jamie, what's this? A mosquito bite? Soft, but audible to the entire room. Taylor watched, amusement in his eyes. Yeah, we've got a big mosquito at home. Vicious thing. The doctors exchanged glances, a few smothered grins. Adults knew exactly what it was. Only Mia turned wax white, clutching the cup so hard it trembled. Serena patted Adrian's chest, satisfied. Let's go. The vendor's waiting. Tonight I'll put some salve on that. All right. Adrian shrugged into his coat and followed like an obedient bride. Inspection over, the others dispersed. Serena ducked into the restroom. Inside a stall, stilettos clicked in. Water gushed at the sink. Did you see the hickey on Dr. Vance's neck? Wild. An unfamiliar voice. I saw. Must be that Cameron woman. Can't believe Morgan the Ice Prince chose a money-reeking business shark. This voice Serena knew, Mia. Please. It's called skipping 20 years of hustle. Word is Sterling Group bankrolled his promotion paper, he's basically a kept man. Seriously? But Morgan's skill doesn't pay rent. Money rules. Look how he tiptoes around Serena, pathetic excuse for a man. Serena sat motionless, ice in her veins. Kept man? Adrian's paper had run in the Lancet, global gold standard. Funding? Sterling had sponsored the trial, yes, a pediatric CHD initiative, pure philanthropy. These idiots kept their brains in the sewer. She stood, smoothed her skirt, and pushed the door. Bang! The two nurses jumped, seeing Serena, they turned avocado green. Mia's lipstick clattered to the floor and rolled to Serena's pump. Serena ignored it. She washed her hands with surgical calm, foam, rinse, dry. In the mirror the pair quivered like specimens. Kept man? She flicked water from her fingers. Leaning against the counter, she smiled lazily at Mia. You'd eat that dish if you could, but you're not even on the menu. Mia bit her lip, eyes watering. Cameron, I was talking nonsense. Nonsense has consequences. Serena dialed Dean. Dean? Serena here. You've got an intern in cardiothoracic. Name? Doesn't matter. Character unbecoming. Tongue too long for a scalpel. Suggest reassignment. Does the morgue need an attendant? Quiet place, good for reflection. She hung up, kicked the lipstick aside. Don't let me see you again. Heels clicking, she strode out. Back in the car, Serena fumed. Chase sat gaming. Seeing her, he pocketed his phone. Where's hubby? Not with you? Patient to finish. He'll follow. She snapped her belt. Drive, company, Emery. Chase checked the mirror. Your neck, geez, who knew gentle Adrian had fangs? Domestic abuse, want a lawyer? Shut it. She flipped the visor, dabbing foundation over the bruise. Oh, boss, heads up, overheard some drug reps. Mercy meets gunning for Adrian. Her hands stilled. Gunning how? Adrian's project is tendering. Mercy Mead tried greasing him with a black card. Dylan, he threw them out. Rumor is they'll ambush him at Alex's conference, claim dead a fraud. Serena snapped the compact shut, eyes arctic. Mercy Mead? Chaired by that Wong guy? Jordan, yeah, a cold laugh. Touch my man. Chase, ma'am? Have finance audit Mercy Mead's capital chain. Inform every supplier, anyone who stalks them is dead to Sterling. Chase slapped the wheel, gleeful. On it! Wong just picked a fight with a titanium wall. Anne. Serena stared out the window, eyes narrowed. Score me an invite to that Alex meeting. You'll suffocate, pure medical jargon. I'm going, to cheer Jamie on. Alex. International Cardiothoracic Summit. The hotel ballroom blazed crystal and champagne. Adrian, in a tailored charcoal suit, knotted a navy tie before the mirror, never quite satisfied. Butterfingers. Slender hands took the silk from him. Serena wore a backless wine-red gown, elegant and lethal. She stood close, looping, pulling, tightening. Taylor. He studied the crown of her head, breathing rose and heartbeat skittering. Big crowd today, he murmured. Scared? She smoothed the knot, flashing a reckless grin. Adrian, remember, you're the man I chose. Your skill, your paper, applause. They want war, they go through me. He gazed at her, eyes soft. He knew what she'd done. Mercy Mead's accounts frozen, its owner vanished overnight, the smear campaign aborted. He said nothing. Sam. He lifted her hand to his lips. No thanks needed. She tugged free, fastening his jacket. Pure investment. Jamie, dazzle them. Tonight, I collect interest. She brushed his ear. And no complaining you're tired. His ears burned. He coughed and looked away. Let's go. Spotlights pooled on stage. Adrian walked up, poised, radiant. Front row, Serena watched her man shine, smile wicked with pride. He was hers. No escape. Top floor suite. Card swipe, lock thud, done in one fluid breath. Before Serena could kick off her punishing heels, she was pinned against the hall mirror. Glass, cold. Adrian's hands, molten. He braced one hand beside her ear and, with the other, slowly, button by button, undid his own suit jacket. Cameron. He said it low, the words still carrying the gravel and magnetism of a lecture just ended. No outsiders now. Let's settle the accounts. Serena looped her arms around his neck, her fingertips idly brushing the back of it. What accounts? Professor Adrian stole the show tonight. Are you billing me for wardrobe? It's not about money. Adrian dropped his head until the tips of their noses touched. Instagram. Male models. The swim team. The gymnastics squad. With each word he nipped her lip, not hard, but enough to make her shiver. Serena, you've got quite an appetite. Serena laughed. She could feel the possessiveness this man kept buried in his bones. This was exactly what she wanted. Sure, I've got an appetite. But fast food gets stale. She leaned to his ear, her warm breath fanning over its curve. I still prefer Elise. The kind that looks bland on the outside but sets your mouth on fire once you taste it. Adrian's gaze went dark. He said nothing more. His large hand found the zipper at the back of her gown. Zip. The dress pulled at her feet in a heap of wine-colored silk. He scooped her up and strode toward the bedroom. Then tonight, Cameron, you feast. The next dawn, a blade of light slipped through the curtains and landed right on the pillow. Serena was woken by her phone's buzz. She groped irritably across the nightstand until she found it. Chase. Serena. It blew up. It blew up. Chase's voice rang like a marching band. If you don't have real news at this ungodly hour, go mine diamonds in Africa. Serena cursed with her eyes still shut. It's huge. Check trending. Headline: Gorgeous CEO splashes cash to promote hubby, genius surgeon turns out to be kept toy boy. The whole internet is arguing whether Adrian looks hot eating soft rice. Serena snapped awake. She jackknifed it up. The quilt slid down, revealing the marks all over her skin. Ignoring them, she opened Weibo. Sure enough, #1 on trending. The photo was from last night outside the hotel, she straightening his tie. Aesthetic shot, sensational caption. The comment section was gold. Can I have a bowl of that soft rice too? With Jamie's face, I'd even feed him steel wool. Rich lady, look at me, I'm no doc, but I can cook. Huh. A cold snort. People with too much time and too little sense. An arm reached from behind and cinched her waist. Adrian was awake. He rested his chin on her shoulder, eyes closed, voice lazy. What are you reading? How popular my kept man is. She tilted the screen toward him. Congratulations, Jamie, you're now the national idol of trophy husbands. He opened his eyes, skimmed the feed, and smiled instead of bristling. Nice. Rolling away, he pulled a document folder from his nightstand drawer. Meant to give this to you later. He handed it over. What is it? She undid the fastener and slid out the papers. Patent transfer agreement, and a black titanium debit card. After yesterday's lecture, a German pharma outfit bought out my new surgical method. Adrian leaned back against the headboard, unhurried. Transfer fee, $80 million. USD. Serena's hand jerked, the papers almost fluttered to the quilt. $80 million? Over 500 million yuan? She was rich, but liquefying 500 million at once would break her cash flow spine. This guy who forever cried poverty and cadged rides off her, an invisible tycoon? Hiding private money? She glared. Not hiding. He tapped the card. It's in your name, already cleared. Pins our wedding date digits. He pinched her stunned cheek. Cameron, how about I keep you from now on? 10 minutes passed before the fact sank in. She stared at the card, emotions tangled. Part indignation at how deep he'd buried this. Part softness, some piece of her heart caving in. He did care, enough to tell the world he deserved to stand beside her. Adrian. She set the card on the table, swung astride him, looking down. I don't want the money. Too little? Serena, am not short on cash. She dipped, fingers tracing his collarbone southward. I want the man. You've had him for ages. He caught her hand, nipped it. The project is called JL Heart, he said suddenly. Serena blinked. JL, Serena. I started this procedure 3 years ago, right after meeting you. You had those palpitations from overwork. His eyes were dead serious. I was scared you'd drop dead in the office, so I left you an escape hatch. It's for congenital defects now, but its core is myocardial repair, just in case. Hopefully, you'll never need it. Her eyes reddened. She remembered the nightly warm milk, the physicals where he vetted every figure. Behind his chill lay this deep fear and love. Adrian, are you an idiot? She sniffed. Probably. My IQ has been dropping since I met you. Back at the office, Serena was all sunshine. Chase squatted by the door inhaling takeout. When he saw her, he almost choked. Serena, that glow, damn, Jamie's skills are surgical, cured you overnight. Cut the crap. In a good mood, she flicked an envelope at him. What's this? Severance pay. He opened it, a Ferrari pickup slip, latest model. Holy hell! Serena, you're my blood sister. I've drooled over this beast for half a year. He lunged to hug her thigh. Don't thank me. It's hush money from your brother-in-law for tipping him off on my whereabouts. Chase's grin froze. Serena, you knew? How else did Adrian find the booth? Without your pin drop, could he have teleported? She tapped the desk with her fountain pen. Playing double agent while dining on my payroll, impressive. Wronged, Serena. He's terrifying. I did it for marital harmony, look how well last night turned out. She snorted. Car's yours. But there's a task. Name it, through fire and glaciers. Compile a list of every scholarship kid Adrian's funded. I'll set up a JL Heart Foundation under Sterling. If he wants to play saint, I'll let him go all the way. Chase gave a thumbs up. You two aren't a couple, you're a crime-fighting duo, Bonnie and Clyde with better dental plans. 1 month later, Serena worked late again. When she exited the Sterling Tower, the familiar black SUV waited beneath the streetlight. The Bentley was gone. Adrian had swapped it for a range, roomy, high view. As for what the room was for, Serena dared not ask. Adrian leaned against the door, hot milk tea in hand. Seeing her, he stuffed the cup into her palm. Hot, less sugar. The warmth slid down her throat. Thought you had night shift. Traded it. He opened the door. Get in. Where? Home. He buckled her seatbelt, then stayed there, half embracing her. Cameron. His eyes sparkled. I've mastered a new massage technique, specifically for neck and shoulder strain. Want a demo tonight? Serena arched a brow. She flicked a button of his shirt all the way down. Jamie, inviting me to overtime? He kissed her wandering fingertips. Not overtime. Performance of conjugal duties. He gunned the engine and merged into nocturne. Neon streaked past the windows. Serena watched the man at the wheel, unable to wipe the smile off her face. The world was big, noisy, a mess. But someone handed you hot milk tea at midnight, someone saw the softness under your armor, someone raced you home, ready to live the scorching life together. Pretty damn good. Adrian. Drive faster. Why the rush? Can't wait to get home and test your massage skills. Soft night wind, flowering road all the way. Thanks for listening. On a 1 to 10 scale, how would you score this story? If you liked it, please like and share. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. See you next time.